Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I am your host, Gena Bradshaw, and today we have a very special guest. We met through the nonprofit organization called Stupid Cancer a while back. This was a couple years now. And we've stayed in touch ever since. We have been following each other on Instagram and our stories. And I'm really glad that we were able to connect virtually, really. We were sharing our cancer stories. And I am so pleased to have on Harjeet Kaur, and she will be sharing her story with us and her journey, what she's gone through. And I'm so excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thanks, Ansha. It's a great pleasure to be here, giving me this opportunity through your platform. And yes, we connected 2 years back at
Yep.
Stupid Cancer Con, Digital Con. And now we follow each other on Instagram. We've been knowing each other since, that Instagram connection. And yeah, here I am. I'm ready to share my cancer journey, a great battle. So I am from Canada. I'm in Alberta, Calgary, and I moved to Canada in 2018, hoping to, settle down, having a new career, having a family. But I think life had different plans for me. So I moved here in May 2018. And May 2019, I started having some fevers. And being a young adult, I was just 32, and we went to emergencies. We went to see our doctor, and everybody was telling us that you just have fevers, you don't have anything else. So you can just stay at home and take Tylenol. It might be a viral infection, or fever might take time to go. You know, to going on and off through emergency rooms and doctor visits. No one had any answers why I was having fever. It took almost 3 months. 3 months. So I was in hospital for 2.5 months. I
Wow.
was having so high fevers, and I started having chills, rigor episodes, and my fever went up to like 41, 42
Wow.
degree. And at that time, I remember we used to do so many emergency visits back to back. And I know the health system in Canada is different than US.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, going on back and forth to emergency, to hospital, to doctors, no one took me seriously at that time. Maybe they never thought that what it would be, right? And 2.5 months staying in hospital, getting all the biopsies, MRIs, PET scans, all my blood work, everything was going on. I was treated as like, the patient who was researched, like they even don't know what's going on in my body. They did a couple of scans, test everything. And one fine day, it was my skin biopsy. That was the last biopsy I had. On 27th of August, it was mid of August, they did the biopsy. So until June, so May end, June first week, I admitted to the hospital, and until August, they were just, trying to figure it out. What is it?
Mm.
And August 28th, when my life completely flipped upside down, I was told that I had stage 4 subcutaneous panniculitis T-cell lymphoma.
Wow.
It's a rare type of cancer, blood cancer, a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Mm-hmm.
When I was told that, I honestly didn't believe, because just before the diagnosis came, we were about to, discharge from the hospital. My husband was like advocating because we were not getting any answers about my sickness. And I was so weak and tired with all that we were thinking of going back to India and, and get myself treated there. And we were ready to, leave the hospital. We were planning to book a flight to India. And all of a sudden, on 28th of August, the doctor came in and she said that you are diagnosed with stage 4. And honestly, I never thought that it would be cancer. Honestly, who thinks that, right?
Right.
But staying in hospital for 2.5 months, and you telling me that you have stage 4, I was like, how come stage 4? And maybe that was because there might be some kind of a gap in my you know the treatment process or how the testing went through and the diagnosis, I
Right.
was told that my condition is very bad and I need to get the treatment ASAP. And yeah, I was sent to hematology department. They started the treatment, and the first three chemos went okay, and I still used to get fevers after that. After my chemos, I still used to get fevers. My body was just, getting weak and weak. And after three chemos, they did a PET scan again, and they found out that the chemo is not working. And I have this immune HLH. It's an autoimmune disease,
Mm,
which is like they fight your good cells in the body. They eat your good cells. So the most of the chemo is working on my cancer cells, but most of the chemo is not working. So my some of the cancer cells are reacting to the chemo and some are not, and they are aggressive. So I went to the hospital and saw my oncologist, and he was like, I gave you two options. Either we can go for a stem cell transplant, which can give you a little longer life. Second, we can go on doing chemotherapy and see how your body can take it. I was not sure, honestly. I was not able to, you know, when I was
mate.
told that I have cancer, I
Mhm.
was not able to process that. And
Right.
then telling me that, just have two options to
Yeah.
live or survive.
Ugh.
Anybody would choose, to live. So
Right.
I told them, okay, we'll go for a stem cell transplant.
Mm.
And I was lucky that my brother was my stem cell transplant donor. He was my 100% match.
Wow. I
And
have full body chills right now.
so he was my donor. And today it's my 3-year stem cell transplant rebirth day.
I
Yes.
am honored to even have you on right now.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. 14th of April 2020 was my stem cell transplant.
Wow.
So yeah, following that, the plan was to give me like the harsh chemo, the aggressive chemo, so that I can go for a partial remission before stem cell. So it was all 2019, and December 2019 was part of my 6 chemos over, and I had to go to a different city where I am right now, Calgary. So they have a bigger cancer center over here, and they do stem cell transplant over here. So I had to come over here to get my tests done and scans done and everything. And I still remember on the table when the doctor was discussing it, I had my full support to, my family, my husband, my brother, my parents, my close friends, everybody was there with me during that time. I had like a good support system during that time, which I really needed.
Oh, thank
And
God.
and I still remember when the oncologist of my stem cell transplant told us on a table that, I just want to tell you guys that we will be doing the stem cell transplant. It's a rare cancer. It's a stage 4, and there might be chances of 15% death in her chance, but she's young, so she might fight over it, but it would be a difficult road ahead. That was December 2019, and Jan 2020, they started giving me aggressive chemos just to make sure that I'm in partial remission. They changed the chemos because my PET scan showed some kind of progress. And so they changed the chemo drugs. They changed my regimen. I used to get every week chemo. Earlier, it was every 3 weeks. Then they started giving me every week. During this whole process, I was told that I'm into premenopause. I'm into menopause. I lost my fertility. My ovaries were not working. And during this process, I was also told that I can't be pregnant after stem cell. I could not process that because my goal was to get better after my treatment. But, with time passed by, I was like, I don't know what would my future look like. And January 2020, I started having this blurry vision in my right eye. And all of a sudden, I woke up one day and I was like, I can't see from my right eye. And I told my doctors about it that, I'm having this blurry vision. And they said that it might be because of the chemo drug. And after all that week passed by, I was told that I have to see a ophthalmologist because they feel that it's lymphoma in my eye. So they need to do a biopsy.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
shattered because I was going through one thing and then I was supposed to get my stem cell transplant so that I can have partial remission. And now another thing came up and I was just worried. My life was like, I was just going on. I didn't want to share or express my feeling that time because I think I was not ready that time. And yeah,
Absolutely. It's very
mm,
traumatic.
and I just went to the ophthalmologist. They did a biopsy. And after a week, the result came and they told us that it's a CMV retinitis, which generally is an infection which can happen to a immune system which is very low, like cancer patients. And it can happen to anyone, but it was just delayed. That's why the vision is lost and we can't do much about it now. But then they wanted to treat my right eye so that I can protect my left eye. So every week I used to get injections in my eye to treat that virus.
Oh my goodness.
Along with that, I used to get chemotherapy too, because my stem cell was due in March 2020. I think my life was like really stuck between all these things. And then when COVID came, March 2020, COVID came and it was delayed for like 2 weeks. My stem cell were delayed for 2 weeks. I did had my chemotherapy treatment in Feb, my injections in my eye on Feb, March, and March end was my stem cell, but it was delayed until April. And the whole globally, everybody was,
Shut
fighting with
down.
COVID, shut down. And my hospital where we were supposed to move for my stem cell, my family was planning to move to the city for 3 months because it was like you have to get the stem cell and then you have to stay for 100 days in the area. And yeah, and I was told that I have to go through all this alone by myself. I was admitted to hospital on 4th of April, 2020, all alone. And honestly, when I entered the building, I thought that I'd never come back from that building. I was all alone, fighting every day. I was given 7 days of nonstop chemo and radiation. My whole immune system was completely killed so that the new stem cells can be given to me. I honestly not never thought that I'll be back from that. But I'm happy.
You look
Like
amazing and you're back.
I fought that those 30 days were so challenging and were so difficult for me, like all by myself, doing all the treatment, no one to hug me, no one to hold me. I don't know how I survived those 30 days. I think it was just, the
Will to live.
the
Yep.
willpower, the hope that I have to be back with my family. I have to get up and go. I, I still, I get those goosebumps and stuff when I think about stem cell. But here I am, 3 years down the road, you know, blessed and grateful to still have this life, to get this second chance in life. Not everyone gets that. And after a year or so after stem cell, I started writing my blog, being vocal about my journey. Thought that, that was kind of a healing thing for me when I started talking about it more. I connected with different communities like Stupid Cancer, YAG, Canadian Cancer Society. And the strange part is I connected with so many people and built so many cancer connections. And I'm glad that, I'm in that kind of a world where I can talk to people who are going through the same thing and they understand each other. But I'm not able to find any single person who had a similar type of cancer.
Nope.
Yes.
I had blood cancer. I had leukemia at age 3.5. And that was literally it was a near death experience.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah, but I can't say that I've come across anyone. And listen, we all come here on this earth, right? To we go through these adversities and each of us has to handle it in a different
yeah.
way that is presented to us. And I'm really, really grateful for you to come on here and share your story for others. And who knows, maybe they're all, someone who's listening maybe has
Mm.
a similar experience to yours. Now, here's my question. What were you like before cancer? And what kind of person are you like now? And was there a shift in energy, personality, mindset? I want to hear it.
So honestly, everything changed physically, mentally, everything has changed. I was a girl who was, who had long hair and stuff, and we used to just live life, enjoy life, going out, eating everything, anything, just, And when I got to know that I had cancer, I was like, maybe my lifestyle did it. Maybe there's something which I did it. And I literally asked this question to my doctor, and he's like, no, it's nothing like you did it something. And I always thought in my mind that cancer can always come to a person who has a family history, or because I come from a background in India where I didn't had any of my family member which had cancer apart from my grandmother, but she had a breast cancer at the age of 60. And I was like, I don't know, and I always used to blame myself, maybe it was me who did that. But with the time I understood that it wasn't me. I think it was meant to be, that I had to go through these struggles to make
Your
myself more
journey.
stronger. It's my journey. I've learned a lot of things from my journey too, that willpower, that strength, obviously it's taking time. I'm not the same person. I'm not like normal before I had
No.
that strength, but I am getting back to it slowly, taking one step at a day, right? So yeah, there have been a physical changes, which now I accept it. There
Yeah.
was time when I didn't had my hair, and it was really difficult for me to cope up with that, because that's something which you feel like, you've seen that thing growing. So that thing, and mentally, it has taken so many things from me, like, the last 3 years, COVID, vision loss, menopause, so many things have changed, and especially my anger and anxiety thing. I, I still do I do go for therapies. I do consulting. I am
Good.
on anti-anxiety pills. There are good days and bad days. Like last week has been really challenging for me because I had my PET scan. I do get every year PET scan.
Yep.
I do get 3 months follow-up. And because it's a rare cancer, because the symptoms were just fever. So yeah, if I have something going on, my oncologist will be like, okay, we are doing this testing, we are doing that testing. So there have been very challenging weeks for me. There are good days and bad days, and I'm happy that, I'm just living my life. I do think about cancer. I do think that, my life has completely changed, but I feel that, I'm blessed, because there are people around who don't even get this chance to, get out of cancer, who don't even
And live.
survive cancer and
Yep.
live. So I'm here, I'm blessed and grateful, and I'm trying my best to get that strength back in my body. So yeah.
Your story is incredible. Question, do you have like a routine or kind of ritual before you go to get your PET scan or your oncologist?
Yeah, so I'm a believer in God,
Mhm.
and I'm from India, so we do follow, rituals and stuff. So, and I don't know how much you know about Indian culture, but I am a, a Punjabi, like a Sikh,
Mhm.
belong to a Sikh family. So I do believe in my Sikh culture. So whenever I go to a PET scan, I do pray before going. And yeah, I just pray and hope for the best. And I just, tell God that, just take care of me and make sure everything is okay. And, I should
I
be
love that.
blessed. Yeah.
Yes, you
So
are
yeah,
blessed, girlfriend. You
yeah,
are blessed.
yeah. So
And
I
you
did
look
have my PET scan.
amazing. How'd
I
it
did have
go?
my I did have my biopsy 2 days back of my right eye, because they think that there is some kind of infection which they couldn't see in PET scan, but they have a doubt that it might be a reoccurrence.
Mm,
So I'm hoping to get answers by today or tomorrow. The PET
mhm,
scan showed okay. There was some thyroid nodule which is active, which is very minor, but
mm,
are doing some extensive testing, which is like ultrasound. But yeah,
mhm,
that's what I'm saying. There are days where I'm like, happy going out, chilling. And then there are days where I'm like sad, worried about the reoccurrence, uncertainty of my life, how
mhm,
things have changed.
mhm. So I'm a big fan of Ayurvedic medicine.
Yes, I know
I
that.
absolutely love it. And I leaned into that and Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, um, after the second reoccurrence when I had thyroid cancer. And especially when I started writing my first book, A Survivor Story. And I have found so much help within that style of medicine. I really leaned into that. And honestly, it has helped me so much with my anxiety, with the fear, scanxiety, right?
It's
When you're going
anxiety.
into that.
Yeah.
I like to meditate and pray before I go. I actually have my ultrasound for thyroid coming up in May. And I am like, okay, I've never felt better, to be honest. So I'm really glad to hear that you have some type of like routine or ritual before you go in, because some
Yeah.
people don't. And fear definitely can take a hold on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And fear can suck the life out of us. It sucks our soul
Yeah.
dry.
Yes.
So,
And
um,
and
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sure, like, the fear is always there. Like,
Right,
being a cancer survivor and a cancer patient, we always get that fear and
right.
anxiety and anxiety, and you can't take that away.
Mhm.
But we have to overcome that
Have to,
fear. Yeah. So
have to.
that's how we can live and survive,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So
Yeah. And not only just survive, but thrive in life. We want to be
thrive.
able to
Yeah. Yeah.
thrive, baby. We
Thrive.
want to
Yeah.
thrive.
Yeah. 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 Actually, we need to thrive, and not just survive, but thrive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, right? So you've gone through all this adversity in life. How have you taken that adversity, right? You started a blog. So how has your life shifted in the sense of like what you were doing before and what you're doing now, right? Are you blogging? Do you, have your own, community in terms of like leading other cancer survivors or something through that? What are you leaning into right now that's helping you overcome that fear?
Yeah. So as I said that, Canada health system is quite different than what US has, right? So
Right.
in my scenario, I've seen that there was maybe a late diagnosis, going from 0 to stage 4 in 3 months, the health system, the emergency systems, the visits and stuff. So when I started writing my blog, I reached out to different communities like Lymphoma Leukemia Society, Canadian
Mhm.
Cancer Society, and YAC is a young adult cancer community in Alberta, because I wanted to connect and see, that connection, and I wanted to know where's the gap, and that's how I started with it. I think it's been 1 year now, so I've been starting, advocating on cancer for cancer patients regarding the health system, regarding the AYA cancer, like being a AYA, people don't realize that what you're going through. So
Right.
yeah, I've just connected with a lot of communities, local cancer communities, and also in US, trying to spread the word out, and and supporting and spreading awareness about AYA cancer too. And that's important, and I feel that everybody should advocate when it comes to their health,
Oh my
because
gosh.
we advocated before cancer, because they were not ready to do any scans, they were not ready to do any blood works, they were not ready to do anything. They just thought that it's a viral fever. If we didn't advocate at that time, I think I don't know what would have happened. So my husband and I, we advocated before, and now post cancer, I'm still advocating, because after COVID, a lot of things have changed. A
Yep.
lot of treatments were delayed, the appointments were delayed for a lot of patients. So I think that's the one thing which I want to do. I want to bring that change in the system. I don't know how I can, but at least by spreading the word out, writing a blog, talking about it on my social media, blogging about it, posting things, it might help people out. If any one single person can get help out of it, I would be great.
It absolutely will help. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting the message out there. Patient advocacy is so
Yeah.
important. And, and also from like a preventative measure too, like before you get to stage 4, like you have to know you have to understand the healthcare system, even though honestly it doesn't make any sense. And you need to do your research. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you had a support system, because some people don't, and they have no clue where to turn.
Yeah.
And this is where communities such as these
Yeah.
nonprofit organizations like Stupid Cancer, or, Leukemia and
Elephant
Lymphoma
Tea
Society,
magazine. Yeah.
Elephant, yes,
Hey,
and Tea Magazine. I love them, by the
I
way.
love them.
I
I love
love
them.
I love writing for them, and I love
Yeah.
that they incorporate the like Eastern medicine style, where they have yoga and
Yeah.
meditations, and
Yeah. These programs really help patients
they
like
help.
us.
They
Like
help.
there is a program which I joined. It was cancer rehabilitation program after my treatment. It was through a
Mhm.
Wellspring program, locally based. They had this meditation, they had this art and creativity class. I did all like the mandalas and stuff. So
I love
it
it.
really helped.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, people who are going through cancer, they should communicate with their support groups, join those support communities. It really helps because you need someone who understands you at that point of time, because there is time when you feel sometime that you need that kind of cancer connection in your life,
Yeah.
who can listen to you, who can understand you, who knows what you're going through, which I feel is really important, and
Absolutely.
especially with young adults going through cancer and stuff. Yeah.
I know it. Yeah, community is extremely important. And like when I first started with, for example, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and Stupid Cancer, like being able to share my story, it was very healing for me.
Yeah.
And especially writing too. I just like when we were sharing our stories, I was bawling my eyes out. I was just crying. And it was so therapeutic while that was
Yeah.
going on. And to also know that you're not the only one out there. You're not the
Yeah.
only one going through, and we have to learn, to thrive, right? Yes,
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
going through the battle during active treatment, during, cancer. It's going to be a different battle
Yeah.
than after your treatment, post treatment, and in survivorship. And
Yeah.
that's what I like to educate on, is like these are two different battles that you
Yeah.
need to be able to really, and like you said, you weren't, when I know when I was going through thyroid cancer, I was nowhere near ready to open up. It was kind of just like this mindset of like
Yeah.
warrior.
Yeah.
I didn't want to even just like, I didn't want to acknowledge it. Death wasn't even in my mind. Cancer was not even in my mind. I'm like, no. So I
Yeah.
really got my mental strong, but I didn't do the healing work after, in terms of like the emotional healing.
Emotional healing. Yeah.
And that was pivotal when I was going through. And so I'm really happy to say that, sometimes like we have our good and our bad days, but I'm so glad that I opened Pandora's box, because it really helped me to be able to thrive in my health and my life, you know, after acknowledging the traumatic events that you go
Yeah.
through when, you're going through cancer.
Yeah. So true. I mean, that's the thing which I really want to go ahead, and because I felt that in our Asian culture and community, people don't want to talk about cancer. People just don't think that cancer is a good thing to have. And I went to India for 5 years after my treatment and stuff. And I felt this too, that they just don't want to discuss about it. And honestly, when I wrote some stuff and I posted some story and, things on my social media, there were 2, 3 people who reached out to me on DM me, and they were through Asian Indians. And they were like, uh, it's so good to see your story. And it's, you just give us so much, strength. And there were 2, 3 people who just reached out and they shared their story to me,
Oh,
but they didn't want it to go out publicly and talk about it
right.
because they feel that their family doesn't feel good about it.
Mm, mm,
So I don't know, in future, maybe I really want to build that community or safe space for our Asian culture or Asian community where people have a safe space to talk about it.
I agree. I see that for you, girl. I see
Yeah,
that.
so I really want to build that kind of a community in near future where people like Indians or Asians, they have that safe space where they can talk about their journey and it stays in that room. And
Yes.
so, because I feel you need to open up, you need to express yourself, if not, publicly, maybe, to someone you're close to. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, well, I know that with that, because when I started doing that too, it was so cathartic and therapeutic, all of the above,
Yeah.
and so much healing took place. And it really did help me with the fear level of cancer reoccurrence.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes it'll pop up here and there, but
Yeah.
honestly, I can say I'm at this point in life where I don't fear cancer. I don't fear cancer reoccurrence. But, that comes with doing the work. And we have
Yeah.
to hold space for those people who are not ready to share their story.
Yeah.
And I could so see you holding space for those people.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
You're so
Hopefully
welcome.
one day.
Yeah, absolutely. You just gotta, when you're ready, you
Yeah.
just keep doing what you're doing, take
Yeah.
that aligned action, and know that all will be well. Um, and I'm so happy that you came on. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it was a great conversation, and I'm so glad. Maybe we meet someday. I'm hoping I might join Stupid Cancer this year. Yeah, I'm just
Crossing
hoping.
fingers.
Yeah, crossing fingers, and God, we'll see you at that if I come there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
love your like the yoga programs you're doing. And I don't know if you are doing it, like, are you willing to do it online everywhere, like in Canada or
Oh yeah,
across
I
the
do
globe?
it. Yeah, I do it all over. So like all the
Okay.
virtual stuff that I do, yeah, pass it along to anyone you
Okay,
think would
cool.
benefit. Come join. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, I would
you would
definitely.
love
Yeah, I'll
it.
definitely. Yes, I'll try, and because I think there's a time gap, but yeah, we'll definitely see what works out to me, because I checked it out and I was like, "Oh, I'll definitely check with you if you do it globally too."
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'll send you the information after.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so are there any words of wisdom you would like to leave the listeners before we sign off?
Just wanted to say, keep your hopes high. I mean, you will get through it. Just we don't need to survive. We need to thrive. So, yes.
Yes. Love it. So
Yeah.
where can people find you?
I am on Instagram. So it's Nikki underscore Thriver, NIKKI_Thriver. And you can find me on Instagram and my email address, HARJEETK17@icloud.com. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so, so much. I hope
Yes.
to meet you soon in the near
Soon.
future.
Yeah.
And anybody, if you liked this episode, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.